SMX medical update, and this is a huge one. By now, you've probably heard the news that the knee injury incurred by defending Monster Energy AMA Supercross champion Jett Lawrence is a torn ACL. Here's his statement on that.
Got the results today and ended up tearing my ACL. It is cooked, in other words, and a slight tear in my meniscus. So I'm going for surgery tomorrow at 11:30. Going to get that fixed up and have 4 months, I think it is, to recover. The recovery time, as the doctor said. So,
well, now we're joined by the good doctor, Dr. Joe McGinley of the McGinley Clinic, to break down this ACL recovery. And this is how it works in sports, right? These are devastating, heartbreaking, soul-wrenching moments. And the biggest question people usually have is, when will he be back? So he mentioned 4 months. I know that's a rough estimate. What are you thinking when you hear this?
Yeah, that was tough to watch, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for Jett. It's unfortunate for the sport. But, he did tear his ACL. He got the MRI. He's already had surgery on that. So now we're looking forward to recovery. 4 months is an aggressive timeline. He's going to be off the bike for sure with, no activity at all for probably at least 2 to 3 months. And then he'll be getting back in aggressive physical therapy, strengthening of that leg, probably bracing of that knee as well. And then trying to prep and get ready for the round 1 of the Nationals. That's an aggressive timeline, but feasible in the right scenario, assuming all the recovery goes well.
Okay, thinking about this same scenario, James Stewart, 2008, tears his ACL, has surgery right after Anaheim 2 of that season, comes out and had a perfect season in that outdoor series. Goes 24-0, but it was, as you said, it was managing everything. He didn't look like his normal self. He was getting good starts and just kind of doing enough. If he's out there, is that what you think? Like he's just going to have to kind of get better as we go? Because when I heard this, I immediately thought he'll be back. But you're thinking that it's going to be much tougher to be anywhere near 100% in that time frame?
Yeah, I mean, he's really pushing the limits of what the body can actually do on recovery. It's feasible. We see several other riders have torn their ACL. They've come back in about 4 months. But it's not just the recovery and rehab from the injury. It's the testing on the bike. It's the prep for the Nationals. It's getting in shape. It's getting in riding shape. Everyone else would have been racing Supercross all the way up to the Nationals. So, there's going to be a bit of a lag on that as well. From a mechanical standpoint, the knee should be strong, should be braced. The surgery, assuming it goes well, the knee should be good to go. But it's all of the other factors that compound this. And, Jett's at the top of his game, right? I mean, he's one of the fastest guys on the planet out there racing. So that's a whole nother level of skill, and any subtle change can change his riding style, and he's just going to have to get used to that. Is it possible to come back and, clear out several wins throughout the Summer Nationals? Absolutely, but it's not going to be easy, that's for sure.
Look, I think if you're Jett or his team and you say you race the first couple of pro motocross rounds and get a bunch of 5th place finishes because you're not 100%, I believe they would sign up for that. The real risk, right, is re-injuring. And I've also heard with ACLs, correct me if I'm wrong, that they can sometimes feel good even when they're not quite. So how do you know that you're not risking, forget about points, or we have to come and win, risk the re-injury? How do you know for sure?
Yeah, there's no way to know for sure. Pushing a 4-month time limit, that's aggressive on an ACL. For example, with NFL players, their average return time is 7-8 months after an ACL injury. Obviously, different sport, different stresses on the knee, but that recovery is important. When you're going back out there, you're always at risk of re-injuring, and you're not going to know until it actually happens. So you have to do all this stuff to prepare. Again, you can take a lot of precautions to limit that chance. They're going to surely be aggressive in physical therapy, strengthening the muscles around the knee. That'll help stabilize and protect the knee. They'll have bracing on the knee. All those things are helpful, but it's motocross, it's racing, there's risk involved. If he were to put his leg down again and re-tear it, that's going to be much more challenging to deal with. That assessment will come from Jett. Mostly that information will come from Jett. As physicians, we can tell you what we see on the exam, we can tell you what we see on imaging. But as the rider, you're the one out there putting the forces and stresses on that knee. We can't tell what you're feeling. We have to hear from you on your comfort level. If he has any discomfort or any question on the stability of that, they'll probably back off.
Well, it's going to be interesting watching this in the background. Of course, nowadays there's the SMX playoffs and World Championship quotient. So if he doesn't make it back for the first round of Pro Motocross, not all hope is lost. This will be very fascinating to watch behind the scenes while the regular Supercross Championship plays out right in front of us. Thanks for the information, Dr. Joe.
Hi, folks. Lee Diffie from NBC Sports here. If you truly enjoyed what you just watched, you can get more news, interviews, and highlights by subscribing to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube page. You can get it all, so go for it.